What did the popular kid at your school do to go from cool to an absolute outcast? Crack. He and his couple friends started smoking crack senior year of high school. They got quarantined to themselves. Ran into one of them a couple weeks ago. He kept trying to get me back to their apartment to do meth. Well, at least he's off the crack. Most popular kid in my middle school was this big Samoan dude. Looked like he was 13 going on 25 years old. I remember he gained a lot of popularity when he serenaded this girl in class to ask her to the dance. He had music playing on his iPhone and he started belting out love songs while on bended knee. Later on that year he went from hero to zero when we found out he'd been molesting his sister. Drugs. You're the cool kid in 9th grade if you're smoking weed all the time. You're not the cool kid in 12th grade if you're addicted to heroin. Wait. Stoners are cool now? Vastly different from my HS years in the 90s. Me and my friends were the potheads and we were definitely looked down upon the entire 5 years of high school. About half the people at my high school smoked weed, and this was in the late 2000s. There used to actually be a market for clean urine samples due to most of the athletes doing drugs. He was popular because he was a rebel that talked back to teachers, and insulted them openly. He became an outcast because he made the teacher everyone loved cry. I had a guy in my class do this recently. Nobody really talks to him anymore. Killed 2 university students while drunk driving and then complained because she wouldn't be able to go to the bar and get drunk on her 18th birthday. He hooked up with 2 of his friends' girlfriends. They ditched him after that. This kid in middle school used to talk shit to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him and everyone thought he was tough and could fight until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight, he just was excellent at intimidation. Now a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of those kids came from very tough homes and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town but was really a gentle giant. He could play football, he was muscular, he could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly. A minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his ass kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere, his clothes got ripped, one of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away, and to top it all off he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a massacre. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma it would have had to have been on this day because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. She tried to manipulate all her friends and pit them against each other with a bunch of catty lies. Well, that in combination with wearing her pageant sash and crown to school for like a week. All girls school. There was a guy that was pretty popular, he got really drunk at a party and totally didn't know where he was. He pulled down his pants, squatted, and totally started to poop. He moved away immediately. He was a senior and I was in 8th grade, that was well over 25 years ago. Well, he friended me on Facebook a couple months ago and I kinda recognized him. I racked my brain and it came to me, the guy who pooped at the party. Poor guy. I mean, is nobody else going to say it? No? Alright. Geez, what a party pooper. Well, the popular girl at my school tried to ruin the life of a really sweet girl because of boyfriend drama. When she realized people were standing up for the sweet girl instead, she lost her mind. Accusing the other girl and her boyfriend of property damage, turning on anyone who didn't swear loyalty to her, turning people against one another, screaming at teachers. It was a mess. The nail in the coffin was when she confided to me and 2 others that she was planning to put laxatives in the pastry she baked for the class. Obviously, I let people know, and she became completely ostracized. She left at the end of junior year, and senior year was the most chill year ever. He seduced a quiet girl in school. She was really soft-spoken but super nice to everyone, basically, everyone's little sister. She was absolutely beloved by everyone in her year, and he was a year older. He was her first love, and he fricked her once, took her virginity, and then essentially abandoned her. She was devastated by it, and it broke her for the rest of the time she was at school. She went right into her shell and barely spoke to anyone. When he started bragging about what he did, everyone hated him. He even got beat up a few times because people were so angry at what he did. Pulled out a knife and slashed another student. Kid with the knife went to outcast status. Kid that got slashed became super cool and had a scar, everyone wanted to see it. She dated me. We were in speech and debate together. Both did impromptu, and we would give each other random quotes and stupid cartoons to practice with. Spent a lot of time together because of it. We dated for about 2 days before people mocked her for it and she bailed on me hard to keep her social status. She never socially recovered from the sin of liking one of the nerds. Thing is though, she then lost all her nerd friends too. I remember in middle school the popular kid asked out the most unpopular girl and then embarrassed her in front of everybody by breaking up with her and laughing in her face about how she could think it was real. It was really sad, and I remember her being really into high school TV shows, and I think she really wanted to be popular, like she hoped life would be like a Disney show or something. I'd what happened to him, but I remember everyone kind of being like, dude. And he moved a bit later. In high school, the popular kids weren't necessarily bullies. They weren't super welcoming into their circle to invite everyone to parties and stuff, but they weren't total bullies, at least that I know of. They were just good at sports and attractive pretty much. Semi-popular, kinda preppy kid. Tried to kill his parents by pouring vodka around their bed at night and setting it on fire because they took his CDs away. Best answer to this happens between elementary and middle school. Our elementary was small, and we fed into a middle school with a much bigger school. Think 20% us, and 80% them. Most popular kids showed up on the first day, after only knowing what it's like to be the coolest kid in the small school, and tried to start shit with some random kid who was with 11 of his friends. To show how cool and top dog he was to everyone, I guess. Yeah, those 12 guys beat him up, and then made fun of him for years. He wasn't cool anymore. Just that fast. By high school, nobody cared anymore, but he was never really popular again. This sounds like how every inside prison documentary goes down. Wholesome for once, I guess. All popular kids in my school were complete dickheads that bullied others. This fella, King of the Hill, starts dating a girl from another school that was friends with one of the bullied kids. The kid told the girl what her boyfriend does in the school, so the girl threatened to break up with him if he didn't change his ways. He stopped socializing with the cool folks and started getting bullied by them, and none of the other kids wanted to warm up to him. He was a loner at school, but he made his girlfriend happy and he was happy. Graduated. Turns out, some learn the hard way that adulthood is not the same as high school. She was pretty and fairly popular, and near the end of the school year told everyone she had cancer. We were approaching the end of grade 7 at the time. Eventually, literally, everyone knew, teachers, other parents, other grades, etc., and it kind of united everyone who weren't typically friends, and that was kind of cool. Until one day, maybe a week or two in, a pair of girlfriends go to visit her at her parents' house and they bring it up and discover it was a hoax. She pissed off a lot of people and lost all her friends after that. Gained new ones eventually, but what a goddamn weird thing to lie about. She was hired to dog sit for a neighbor when they went out of town. She decided to take advantage of the empty house and throw a party at the neighbor's house that got out of hand. Neighbor's daughter also went to the school and had to deal with a messed up house. Pretty big deal, and the popular girl never came back. Somebody catfished him and was a short vid of him naked that went to a lot of people that most of us saw. Kinda felt bad for him but remembered he's an asshole. There was a girl that was the popular girl in school. She had all the friends and even put out an album. She was a total star locally. One day we were taking standardized tests and she runs out of the room and doesn't return. When we left the class there was green diarrhea all over the floor just down the hall from the classroom. Poor girl didn't make it to the bathroom in time. She didn't return to school that school year and moved to another town school completely after that. She married a famous NFL player and is one of these Instagram PPL now, so she bounced back from a shitty situation pretty well. He got with me. For real. He was the most popular and I was the most unpopular. He was still always popular but less so after that. Now we've been together for 10.5 years and married for a little over 8.